episode was everybody was so spread out. You know, you had Clark in Metropolis, you had Lex on the island, you had the Kents, and everybody was sort of physically and geographically spread out, and then sort of emotionally spread out too. So, and unlike the season 1 to season 2, where we started up right at the moment of the tornadoes, this one is 3 months later. So it's sort of the challenge of how do you reset these relationships and sort of show where all these characters are, and then what sort of surprises could you slip in there. And one was, you know, having Chloe know where Clark was, you know, so that also you didn't want Clark just interacting with a bunch of Canadian day players. So, you know, you wanted to get
as good as they are.
Yeah, you wanted to tie him back into the story and into Smallville.
All the characters were trying to reunite,
yes,
also,
exactly.
and all their friendships were trying to. They were all looking for ways to put relationships back together.
Right.
So where did you shoot this, Greg? Where was this location? It's pretty cool.
Pretty trendy living workspace in downtown Vancouver. Had a very sort of cool curvilinear architecture that looked appropriate for the futuristic look of Metropolis.
And here's Morgan Edge, as
Morgan
Edge, who's became a bad guy. He reoccurred 3 times.
Yeah.
In the season 3. So.
And getting Rutger was a real coup. You know, he's somebody that we had always liked very much, and you know, he was very game to do it. And then we sort of interestingly, due to scheduling conflicts in Shattered, which is the other episode he shows up in, had to recast. So we had to go to the old plastic surgery well. But luckily there we got Patrick Bergen, who was actually friends with Rutger. And I think he did a good job sort of selling that. But Rutger was terrific.
I can't believe how that worked. It really worked.
It worked. No, it's a
unbelievable.
total. We sat there in the room going, "Oh God, we got to go to the plastic surgery well." But it actually in that concept,
and he spoke like him.
He spoke like him. He had the same build.
His presence was very much like him.
Was very much, and also I think just in that context, you'd actually sort of buy it. You know, if he's hiding out from Lionel Luthor, he would do that.
Was he great to work with?
Yeah, how was he to work with, Greg?
Oh, Rutger was fantastic. He was really excited to be there. He was a fan of the show. I don't think he was quite used to the pace we work at in television, so that threw him a little bit. But
I think his only TV gig prior to this had been an Alias episode. I think he'd been on.
Yeah.
So I don't think he'd done.
He wasn't used to the idea that you do 3 scenes in one day. But he was a great guy, and he was very happy to be there. And
Tom is amazing in that scene.
Yeah,
it's my
Tom's
favorite
great.
scene in this episode.
Yeah.
He's fantastic.
I'll tell you, the crew hates shooting in these caves. It's very difficult for them.
Well, the caves are logistically complicated because they're tall, thin, they're difficult to light, and
Right.
But they
because
film
there's
so well, though. I mean, you'd never know being on the set how small
they
it is.
film great.
But they're, you know, and literally there's dirt all over the floor. So then when you start moving 60, 70 people around, the air fills with dust, and it's rather unpleasant. But I think they photograph beautifully, and you're right. You don't know how you don't know how small they really are in real life.
No,
they're about 100 feet long and about 20 feet wide.
Yeah, they photograph great. And then
And you never really get a sense of exactly where anyone ever is in them. It's a very interesting situation.
And I always think the visual effects are spectacular when they're in the cave.
Yeah.
Always.
And this, and again here it's sort of realigning Chloe and Lionel, because she, at the end of season 2, had made a deal with him, and then 3 months later you want to see where it is. And I think this episode really gave Allison a springboard into the season, because I think Chloe sort of got parked on the bench for a lot of season 2, because once Clark and she sort of said, "Oh, we're not going to go out," she didn't really have too much to do until the end when she sort of got into business with Lionel. And then I think this really was a great way to sort of propel you through season 3. So, and they're really good.
It was just, we thought it was a great combo that
Yeah.
Allison and John Glover would have a great time working together, and it proved to be right. It's just Chloe's dabbling in the dark side is always fun.
And this is the first time with Lionel that you get to see him really take somebody's life apart. You've heard about it, you've seen aspects of it, but this is somewhere he takes somebody who's very innocent, sort of gives them the sort of deal with the devil, and then through the whole season she tries to, you know, get out of it. She's sort of, you know, unwitting in it, then tries to get out, then gets out, and then he tries to kill her. So I mean, you sort of, in a weird way, I think it gives you a great sort of